Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you all hear me? Okay. Last session, we have completed up to customer transactions, allocate payments. Today, we will start from supplier adjustments. Now, in practical situations, sometimes after audit or after you identify some erroneous transaction, you may need to change your supplier balances. So in that case, you can change your supplier balances or you can adjust supplier balance from supplier adjustment transactions. Okay, go to suppliers, transactions, supplier adjustments. Sometimes you may need to increase supplier balance or sometimes you may need to decrease supplier balance. So in that case, you can use this supplier adjustments. After you go to supplier adjustment, click add supplier adjustment. And from here, you can select your supplier. And after you select the supplier, you can view the supplier balance. From effect, you can increase or decrease your supplier balance. If you want to increase your supplier balance, you can select increase, or if you want to decrease your supplier balance, you can select decrease. And also, if taxes available for this transaction, you can select the relevant transaction. From by affecting account, you can select the GL account. Now, for an example, if you have entered the supplier transaction to any GL account, you can change it from here. You can select by affecting account, and when you are entering this transaction, that account will debit or credit based on this effect. Okay, you can select any account here, and under reference you can enter reference number related to this transaction. From exclusive, you can enter how much you are going to adjust for this customer, so sorry, this supplier. Okay, and if taxes available, system will calculate the tax and total will calculate. Under description, you can enter description related to this transaction, and you can enter comment also. From date, you can select the transaction date. By clicking this analysis code, you can assign this transaction for this analysis codes. After you enter these details, you can process this transaction. Okay, after you process the transaction, you can view what are the supplier adjustments you have entered to the system. Okay, we will enter another transaction. Now, in previous transaction, we have increased supplier balance. Now, this transaction, we will decrease our supplier balance. Okay, after you select decrease, system will display if you have any unpaid supplier invoices. Okay, if you select decrease, you can view unpaid invoices for that supplier. If you want, you can allocate that transaction to any outstanding invoice, or you can enter amount. From here also you can select by affecting account, and you can enter reference, enter amount. and under description and comments, you can enter if you have any description or comments available. Okay, from here, analysis code, you can assign analysis codes for this transaction. After that, you can process this transaction. Okay, only difference between this effect increase or decrease. If you select decrease, system will display unpaid invoices for this supplier. Okay, now you can process this transaction. And also, if you have enter any value, and if you are not allocated to any transaction, system will display unallocated amount. And if you allocate to in transaction, it will display as 0. Okay, after that, you can process this transaction. Right. Like this, you can enter supplier adjustment. But if you select this add supplier adjustment, you can enter only one, or you can select only one supplier at a time. And if you select quick entry grid, you can select more than one supplier. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier adjustments, select quick entry grid. If you select quick entry grid, you can enter more than one supplier adjustment. Right. From here, you can select date, effect, increase or decrease. You can select the supplier. You can enter reference, description, tax rate, exclusive amount, and by affecting account. And by clicking this plus mark, you can add any number of suppliers. Like this, you can enter and you can process this transaction. If you select quick entry grid, you can enter more than one supplier adjustments. And if you want to delete any transaction, by clicking this red color button, you can delete that line. And also, if you want to import supplier adjustments, by clicking this import button, you can import. And by clicking this, how do I set up a CSV file, you can download an example. You can enter these details and you can import to the system. After you enter details, you can process. Okay, like that, you can enter supplier adjustment. Right, now you can enter few supply adjustments. Go to suppliers, transactions, supply adjustments, and you can practice in both supply adjustment and quick entry grid. Okay, if you want to change your supplier balances, you can use this supplier adjustments. And if you want to change your output tax adjustment, you can use these output tax adjustments. And if you want to change input tax adjustments, you can use these uh, input tax adjustments. Actually, currently these two sections not available in Sri Lanka. So therefore, we will move to supplier reports. Right. First, we will discuss list of suppliers. From here, we can generate our supplier list. Okay, you can select suppliers, active suppliers or inactive suppliers, and you can select that supplier categories, and you can view the report. You can view supplier name, supplier category, active, then supplier contact name, telephone number, and balance. And here there's a tick box, show user defined fields. If you tick this option, you can view the report with user defined fields. And you can generate this report uh, as summary or detailed report. If you select summary, you can view only supplier name and contact details. And if you select detailed, you can view supplier name, category, active, contact name, telephone, and their physical address, postal address, and contact details, and credit limit. Right. Next, we will move to purchases by supplier. From here, you can generate supplier purchases. You can select suppliers, supplier categories, and from report options, you can select date range. And if you want to include supplier returns, you can tick this option. Then supplier returns also include in this report. And you can generate this report as summary report or detailed report. First, we will generate summary report. Right. From here, you can view purchases by suppliers. This is grouped by supplier, and you can view that supplier name, transaction date, transaction number, quantities you purchased, and total purchases. And from last line, you can view uh, total supplier purchases. And also, you can view grand total for all suppliers purchases. We will generate a detailed report. Select date range, and from here you can select detail. Now, if you select detail, you can view what are the items you have purchased from this supplier. In our previous report, you cannot view what are the items you have purchased, but if you select detail, you can view the items you purchased. You can view that each supplier wise total and grand total. Right. Next, we will move to supplier balances days outstanding report. Now from this report, you can view supplier outstanding. You can view age analysis, supplier name, uh, supplier total outstanding, and you can view the age analysis, current 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 plus days. There are few options. Now, if you generate this report as a date, you can even backdate it, and you can generate this report. And from here, you can select suppliers, and you can select supply categories. You can select active, inactive suppliers. And from style, you can select summary report or detailed report. If you select summary, you can view only one line for one supplier. And if you select detailed, you can view transaction-wise outstanding report. Now, if you select summary, you can view only total outstanding. And if you select detail, you can view each supplier transaction-wise report. Next, exclude suppliers with zero balances. Now, you can see some supplier has zero balances. That is, we haven't allocated that supplier payments to invoices. Now, for an example, this first supplier, it has invoices 100 and 2,500, but that supplier has 2,600 payment. But we haven't allocated that payment to invoices, therefore it will display here. Okay. Now this supplier has zero balances, but this has unallocated transactions, unallocated invoices and payments. Therefore, this will display in the report. Now we will go to supplier allocation, allocate payments, select the supplier. We'll take this second supplier. That supplier has 2,500 and 15,000 invoices and 15,000 and 2,500 payment. So net outstanding is zero, but this supplier has unallocated transaction. Therefore, this supplier will display in the outstanding report. Now, if we go to this allocation, payment allocation, you can see unallocated items available. Therefore, this supplier will display in the report. Now, if you want to exclude those zero balances suppliers, you can tick this option, and you can generate the report. Now you can see zero balances suppliers will not display. If you untick this option and refresh, those suppliers will display again. Furthermore, you can view supply outstanding in supplier's currency. Now, if you tick this option, you can view supply outstanding in supplier's currency. Here, you can see this third supplier is in AED, and you can see dollar outstanding dollar suppliers like that. If you take this option, you can view outstanding in suppliers currency. And if you untick this option, you can see all suppliers in home currency or LKR. And one important thing, if you untick this option, use foreign currency, you can view grand total. If you untick this option, you can view grand total. And sometimes you may require to generate this report backdated. For an example, for audits, you can generate this report as at 31st March. Then you can backdate this report and you can generate the report. Right, now you can practice these reports. Okay, next we will move to next report. Supplier statement. From here, you can generate a supplier statement. You can select suppliers. You can select the period. And from these options, you can adjust your supplier statement. First, we will generate without this option. Right, this statement you can generate. You can view transactions, opening balance, and age analysis. Now there are few options. If you want to show opening balance or brought forward balance, you can tick this option and you can generate the report. Then you can view brought forward balance as at this date. Then if you want to exclude fully allocated invoices, you can tick this option. Then those invoices will not display. And also next option is use foreign currency. If you have foreign suppliers and you want to view those supplier statement in supplier's currency, you can tick this option. Right. And if you want to exclude zero balances suppliers, you can tick this option. And also if you want to exclude negative balances suppliers, you can tick this option. And if you want to exclude supply balance less than a specific amount, you can tick this option and you can enter that amount. That you can see 21 numbers of pages available, that 21 suppliers in this list. Right now, first three suppliers zero balances. If you go to supplier statement and select first four suppliers, and if you select, or if you enter less than 1000, system will display only that fourth supplier, because first three suppliers balance is zero. Therefore, system will not display these three suppliers. Right. Next, we will move to supplier transactions report. From here, you can generate supplier transactions report. You can set date range, suppliers, supplier category, and from here you can select supplier transaction type, and you can view the report. You can view that supplier transactions. Now, if you select any specific transaction, system will display only that transaction, only supplier adjustments. And also there's another option, use foreign currency. If you tick this option, you can view that transaction in customer's currency. And if you untick this option, you can view those transactions in home currency. Now this one, if you tick this option, you can view in customer's currency, sorry, supplier's currency. Okay, next report is supplier purchase orders. From here, you can view supplier purchase orders. You can view transaction date, delivery date, purchase order number, supplier name, exclusive amount, tax amount, total amount, and status of that purchase order. From these options, you can select date range, supplier, supplier category, and document status. If you want to filter a particular status, now for an example, if you want to view overdue invoices, you can select that overdue invoices and view the report. And also if you tick this option, you can view purchase order in supplier's currency. Now this is overdue invoice. And if you untick this use foreign currency tick box, you can view the grand total. Right now, you can generate these reports. Okay, next we will move to next report, supplier purchase orders by supplier. Now in this report you can generate supplier purchase orders. You can select suppliers, supplier category, and from report options you can select the date range. You select all date range and we can generate the report. Now previous report also you can view that supplier purchase orders. From this report also you can view the supplier purchase orders. The difference between those two reports are, previous report is you can view purchase orders as a list. Okay, now here you can view the purchase orders as a list, and from this report, supplier purchase orders by supplier report, in this report, purchase orders grouped by the supplier name. Now here you can see this report has grouped by the supplier name, and previous report is just a purchase order list. And this report also you can view supply name and category. You can select date range and you can view detailed or summary report, and from here you can select the status of that purchase order. And if you take this use foreign currency, you can view the foreign purchase orders in custom suppliers currency. Okay, now you can generate this report. And this report also, if you select detail, you can view each line item wise uh, purchase orders. Right. Next, we will move to supplier invoices. Now from here, you can generate supplier invoices report. You can select the date range and you can select supplier. You can select supplier category, and from status, you can select active, inactive suppliers. And if you want to include supplier returns to this report, you can tick this option. And if you want to view invoices report in suppliers currency, you can tick this use foreign currency tick box. From here, you can view that supply invoice date, invoice number, document number, supplier invoice number, supplier name, due date for payment, anticipated payment date, exclusive amount, tax amount, total purchases, and total outstanding. Now, first invoice we haven't paid, therefore it will display total outstanding as total purchases, same amount, and second invoice total outstanding is 0 because we have paid for this invoice. And this report also, if you untick this use foreign currency, you can view the grand total. Right now, you can generate this supplier invoices report. Okay, next we will move to supplier unallocated payments reports. Now, when you are generating this supplier outstanding report in detail report, you can see this second supplier. That supplier has supplier invoices and that supplier has supplier payments. Now that supplier net outstanding is 0, but we haven't allocate these payments to supplier invoices. Therefore, this supplier will display in the supplier outstanding report. Now, if you have allocated these payments to these invoices, this supplier will not display in the supplier outstanding report. So, to generate accurate supplier outstanding report, it's better to allocate that payments to invoices. So, if you haven't allocated any payment to invoice, you can view those unallocated payments from this supplier unallocated payments report. So you can select the date range and you can select supplier category, and from here you can include supplier returns and adjustments, and you can view this supplier unallocated payment report in supplier's currency, and you can view the report. Right now you can see there are few unallocated transactions, so you can go to this supplier and you can allocate this payment to the outstanding invoices. Then these unallocated transactions will not display in this report, and also when you are generating this supplier outstanding report, those outstanding and payments will not display in the report. So to generate accurate report, you need to allocate these unallocated payments. So you can use these supplier unallocated payment reports for allocate that transactions. Okay, now you can generate this report and you can allocate if you have any unallocated payments. Okay, we will move to next report. Emails sent to suppliers. Now, from this Sage Business Cloud accounting software, you can send emails to your suppliers, such as supplier purchase orders. From here, you can email your uh, purchase orders. Now, from this report, email sent to suppliers report, you can view what are the emails you have sent to suppliers. You can select suppliers, you can select supplier category, and from report options, you can select the date range. After that, you can view the report. Right now, you can see uh, the date you have sent that email, sent from, sent to supplier name and recipient email address, type of the document, and document number. This is a purchase order, and also you can click this link and you can view the transaction. By clicking that document number, you can view the source document. Right, like that, you can generate the emails into suppliers. Okay, now we have completed that supplier reports. Next, we will move to special. Now, from this special option, you can change your supplier opening balances. If you want to adjust your supplier opening balance, you can use this option. Now, when you are implementing the system, you can import or you can enter your supplier opening balances, but later you will find that entered supplier opening balance is incorrect. In that case, you can use this option, adjust supplier opening balance, and you can select the supplier. And after you select the supplier, you can view the current opening balance. And if you want to change the opening balance, you can enter the reason why you are entering that, why you are changing this opening balance, and under new opening balance, you can enter the correct opening balance. Sometimes uh, after enter your supply opening balances, you will find that your balances incorrect. In that case, you can change your supplier opening balance from adjust supplier opening balances. Okay, after you change the details, you can save. Then this balance will update in supplier opening balance. Right now, you can enter your, or you can change your supplier opening balances. And you can take a short break. After that, we will start customer module. Okay, we will start by 4:30. So you can practice this adjust opening balance, and after that, you can take a break. Okay, right. Now we have completed supplier module. Now we will move to customers module. Now in this customers module, you can enter customer invoices, customer quotations, customer receipts. Those transactions you can enter, and you can generate customer outstanding report, sales report, and those reports. And in addition to that, this customer module has time tracking module and debtors manager module. Now any company may use this customer module. So in any accounting software, most of users using this customer module. So uh, you can learn what are the transaction we can do in customers module. And if you have any questions, please ask. Right. First, you can create customers, sales reps, and customer categories in this customer module. We have discussed these master file creation when we are doing master files. I'll quickly go through how to create a customer. Okay, go to customers and click add a customer, or you can go to customers list of customers, and click add a customer. From here you can enter the customer name, and if you want to allocate to any group, you can select the group. And if the customer has opening balance, you can enter the opening balance and opening balance as a date. If you are giving credit limit to that customer, you can enter the credit limit, and that customer is a tax registered customer, you can enter the tax registered number of that customer. And if you are assigning any sales rep for this customer, you can select the sales rep. Then there are few options. Auto allocate receipt to oldest invoices. If you tick this option, when you are entering receipt, system will allocate that receipt to oldest invoice. Then next one, exclude from debtors manager. If you tick this option, this customer will not or customer exclude from the debtors manager. And from debtors manager, you can send invoice reminders, outstanding invoice reminders, those things you can do. So if you don't want to send reminders, or if you want to exclude from debtors manager, you can tick this option. And if you want to hold uh, create a new invoices for this customer, you can tick this option. And next, you can enter customer postal address, delivery address, and customer contact details. And if you are not entering any email address here, please select print when you are saving this customer. Okay, after you enter these details, you can save this customer. Right. Next, sales rep. You can add sales rep from by add sales rep, and you can enter first name, last name, email address, and telephone numbers, and you can save this sales rep. Next, customer categories. Now from here you can create customer categories. Customer categories mostly used for reporting purposes. So if you have created any customer category, you can generate reports from that customer category. Right. Okay. Next, we will move to transactions. Now, from here, you can do these transactions: customer quotations, customer sales orders, customer tax invoice, customer recurring invoices, customer credit notes, customer receipts, allocate receipts, customer adjustments, bad debt relief, and bad debt recovery. Now, first, we will move to customer quotations. Uh, Before you start customer module, you can enter that document numbers. You can enter document numbers for this company, change company settings, document and statements, and document numbers. From here, you can enter that document numbers. Okay. Quotations, sales order, customer invoice, credit note, those transaction numbers you can set from here. Right. By clicking add quote, you can enter customer quotation. Now, before you enter supplier customer invoice, customer may request pricing for that your selling items. Okay, in that case, you can use this customer quotation for send your item selling prices. So this customer quotation is not a it just a document. There's no accounting entries in the system. It's just a document. Okay, now from here you can select customer, and after you select the customer, you can view customer balance, tax numbers, credit limit, postal and delivery addresses. The document number will fill from the system. You have set the document numbers from here. That number will display here or allocate here. After that, you can enter customer reference number. Sometimes customer may request pricing, so those document numbers you can enter as customer reference number. And from here you can select layout, and if you have assigned any sales rep, it will display here. And when you are processing the transaction time also, you can, if you want, you can change the sales rep. And when you are creating customer, that time you may enter default discount. So if you have entered any default discount, you can see that default discount here. And if you want to change, you can change when you are processing the transaction. Right. After that, you can select items you are going to quote. Okay, you can select the item, and you can enter quantity. Now, for an example, if a customer has request for one item, you can enter one, or if customer has requested 100 items, you can enter 100 here. And you can enter exclusive price, and if taxes available, you can select the tax type. And if you are giving any discount, you can enter that discount, and system will calculate the total. And if you want to add additional items in second line, you can add. And also if you want to add more lines, by clicking this plus mark, you can add lines. And if you want to add any message for this document, you can enter under this message. Okay, after that you can save the quotation, or if you want to email this quotation, you can click email, or if you want to print, you can print this document. From total, you can view discount, then exclusive value, taxes, and total amount. And if you want to assign to analysis code, you can assign from here. After that, you can save the quotation. Okay, now you can enter quotation. Okay, you can save the document or quotation. After that, you can view the quotation list. Okay, now we will discuss other features in customer quotations. Now there's a tick box, use inclusive amount. If you tick this option, you can see this exclusive price will change to inclusive. Now for an example, if I enter pricing here, and we will enter tax rate, and if you untick this option, you can see that exclusive price available, and if you tick inclusive price available. Right, next, this message, you can enter different messages. For an example, you want to add a validity period. Now here we will add another one. Like this, if you want to mention validity period of that particular quotation, you can set messages, and from here you can select messages, and then that message will display here. Now I'll select 30 days. Select 30 days. Now I'll change again to 45 days. Now it will change to 45 days. Right. Next, there are a few options. View code GP. Now, if you click this view code GP, you can view the gross profit of this quotation. Now you can see here, average cost is 10,038, exclusive price 12,500, gross profit is 2,462 cents 10, and you can view the gross profit percentage. And second item also, you can view the cost, selling price, gross profit amount, and gross profit percentage. Now from here, you can view how much you are generating as profit from this quotation, and you can view the total gross profit amount and percentage. Right. And there are also two tabs, average cost and last cost. Now the difference between those two is average cost is, now you may purchased items from several periods, and system will calculate the average cost of that item. Now if you select average cost, system will calculate this gross profit based on the average cost. If you select last cost, system will calculate the gross profit from this based on this last cost. Now for an example, we will go to that item list of items. Now this product, average cost is 138, last cost is 67. Now if you select 67, it will calculate last cost as 6,795 because 100 quantities. Now second item, last cost is 90. Sorry, last cost is 70,250. Therefore it will display that cost. Right, average cost is, now for an example, if you are purchasing now first item 100 numbers at 50, and second time you are purchasing at 100 quantities at 60. So system will calculate that 5,000 plus 6,000, 11,000 and divide by 200. Then that will be the average cost. So last cost is last time the purchase price. Right, that's the difference between that average cost and last cost. And if you cannot view this view code GP, go to administration, select control use access, and from this right side you can select your username and click permissions. From right side you can select your username and click permissions, and select customers, customer tax invoices, and from here tick on this view GP on invoices, quotes and sales orders. In this tick box please tick. After that save. Then you can view the quotation gross profit. Right, next we'll save this and open that quotation again. Select quote history. Now you can see quotation created date, and if you have, or if your users has done any changes to this quotation, you can view that modifications. Now here second one, action is edited, and you can see the date, username and details. The value of that document was changed from this amount to this amount. Right. If you want to view any modification, or if your users has done any modifications, you can view from quote history. Next, show user defined fields. By clicking that, you can view the user defined fields and you can enter that details and you can save. Then document attachments. If you want to attach any documents for this quotation, by clicking this attachment, you can attach documents. If you want to send any pictures of these items, you can attach those pictures, images. And individual files should not exceed 2 MB, and up to 5 attachments you can attach. Next, document notes. If you want to add any document note, you can add here. Then when the action date reads, it will display in to-do list. From here you can view what are the document notes. Okay, if you want to, you can enter follow up. Now after you enter quotation, you want to follow up that quotation. So if you want to follow up this quotation after 1 week, you can select that date, and you can enter as note as follow up, and you can save. Then August 5th, system will pop up a message in this to-do list, and from here you can view and you can follow up that quotation. Next, accepted declined invoice. Now you will send this quotation to your customer, and customer may accept this quotation. So in that case, you can click this accepted. Then from this quotation list, you can view that customer has accepted that quotation. Next, declined. If your customer rejected that quotation, you can select that decline. Then you don't want to follow up, and that means your customer will not purchase from you, and that customer has declined your quotation. Next, invoice. If you want to, and if your customer agree to purchase from you, you can change that status to invoice. Next, create invoice. If your customer agrees to purchase from you this item at these prices, you can convert this quotation to invoice. And if your customer agrees to purchase frequently, monthly, quarterly, you can create a recurring invoice. We will discuss these recurring invoices when we are doing recurring invoices. And if you want to create a sales order, you can create sales order. Now, when you are doing that customer settings, you can remember we have set that general settings, item settings. From here, we have said that reserve sales orders, reserve item quantities. If you convert this quotation to an sales order, those items will reserve for that customer. Then last one, copy code. Now, if you want to copy this quotation, you can copy from here. Then you don't want to enter again, same items and prices will copy as a new quotation. Right, those things you can do. Now you can practice these options. Okay, after you enter customer quotations, you can view that customer quotation grid. From here, you can view what are the quotations you have sent to your customers. And from here, you can view customer name, document number, customer reference number, date, expired date, total, printed, status of that quotation, sales rep, and actions. Now, there are few status: pending, invoiced, expired. Now, invoices, if you have converted this quotation, it will change to invoice. And expired is you have sent the quotation dates you can view. Now, this A01 customer quotation, May 5th quotation date, and expiry date also May 5th. Therefore, and it haven't converted to an invoice, therefore that status is changed to expired. Now, pending is your quotation date is now first one July 29th, expiry date is September 12th. So far we haven't reached that expiry date, therefore this status is pending. And if your customer accepted quotation, to change to accepted, and if your customer declined your quotation or reject that quotation, status will change to decline. And you can sort this grid by clicking this heading. You can sort ascending or descending order, and you can customize this grid from this customize grid button, and you can tick required columns, and if you want to remove any column, you can untick that column. Next, actions. From here you can preview this quotation, print, email or edit, delete, update status, create invoice, create sales order, copy code, and view history. And you can see there are some inactivated button, and if you tick any quotation, these buttons will activate. Now, if you want to delete, you can delete, and you can select more than one quotation, and if you want to delete, you can delete, and if you want to print or email, you can print or email more than one quotation at a time. And also there's a update status. If you want to change that quotation status, by selecting these all quotations, you can change the status: accepted, decline, no, invoice. Next, filtering. You can filter dated today and dated this month, expiring today, expired, pending, uh, accepted, declined invoices. You can filter from here. And also there's a multi-column sorting. You can add columns and you can sort. And if you want to search any document, you can type and you can search from here. Right, now you can practice this. And also if you have attached any document, and or if you add any note, this file mark and other file color will change to orange. Okay, if you attach any file or if you add any note, these colors will change to orange. And you can view number of quotations you have entered in the system. Right, now you can practice this. Right. Next, we will move to customer sales orders. You can enter customer sales orders from customers, transactions, select customer sales orders. After that, click add sales orders. Now, if you enter customer sales orders, you can reserve those quantities for your customers. Then select the customer and customer details will display. You can enter the items you are going to sell. Or if you are delivering goods, you can enter that quantities you are going to deliver in this sales order. Sales order also just a document. There's no any accounting entries from this sales order. You can enter item, quantity and prices. After that, you can save. And also you can enter sales orders from this way, or you can go to customer codes, and by clicking actions you can click this create sales order. And also from transactions also, customer sales orders, add sales orders, and select the customer. And from code you can select the code. Then if you select from this from code, and if you convert sales order customer quotation to sales order, you don't want to enter these items again, so system will fill these details. Okay, items, quantity and prices will pick from the quotation details. After that, if you want to change this quantity or price, you can change, and you can save this sales order. And if you want to email, you can email, or you can print or save. And there are also few options. View sales order GP. From here you can view the GP. And if you have done any modifications to this sales order, you can view the history. From options you can view the sales order history. Now you can see created on July 29th. Next, user defined fields. You can enter user defined field details if you want. Next, document attachments. If you want to attach any documents, you can attach from here. When you are attaching, those files should not exceed 2 MB, and you can attach up to 5 attachments. Next, document notes. If you want to add any document notes, you can add here, and when action date reaches, it will display in the dashboard. Next, create invoice. If you want to convert this sales order to sales invoice, by clicking this create invoice, you can convert this sales order. Last one, copy sales order. If you want to copy this sales order, by clicking this copy sales order, you can create a new sales order. After you enter these sales orders, you can view the sales order list from here, and you can view customer name, document number, reference number, date, delivery date, total discount, total status, sales rep. And if you want to customize this grid, you can click this customize grid and you can customize. You can tick required columns and untick if you want to remove any column. And you can sort by this grid by clicking these headings. can sort ascending or descending order. And there are few status: pending, invoice, and overdue. Overdue is you should deliver these uh, items or sales order in May 19th. So far you haven't delivered, therefore this will overdue. And if you have if your delivery date not yet reached, it will that status will change to pending. And if you have converted this sales order to invoice, status will change to invoice. And from here you can filter your sales orders, and you can sort multi-column sorting. And if you want to search a document, you can search, right, like that. You can enter sales order and you can change this grid. Okay, now you can practice these sales orders. Okay, right. Now you can enter customer sales orders like this, and next we will move to customer invoices. If you are enabled taxes, you can view as customer tax invoices. Go to customers, transactions, customer tax invoices. Right. After you go to customer tax invoices, click add a tax invoice. And select the customer. After you select the customer, you can view the customer balance and customer details. From here, you can select items and you can enter selling quantity and selling price. When you are select the items, you can view that item code, item description, reserved quantity, and quantity on hand. If you have entered any sales orders, you can see there are some reserved quantity column available in here. And you can view quantities available for sale on quantity on hand. Next, you can enter a description, and if units available, you can enter units when you are creating items, and from here also you can enter. And you can enter quantity, and you can enter the selling price. After that, if taxes available, you can select the tax rates, and from here you can select your department or your analysis code. After enter these details, you can save this invoice. Right, now you can enter customer tax invoice. Okay, in practical situation, your company may not enter customer quotations or sales orders, and you may directly enter invoice. In that case, you can start from invoice. Sometimes your company may send quotations and enter invoices. Then you can enter quotation and you can convert that quotation into a tax invoice. Or sometimes you may follow that three steps: quotation, sales orders, tax invoices. And if you want to follow those three steps, you can follow that those three steps. And if you are only enter tax invoice, you can start from the tax invoice also. Right. After you enter tax invoices, you can view this list. Now we will discuss what are the additional features in these customer invoices. Now, this when you are entering this customer invoice, there will be journal entries. Your sales will credit, and your cost of sales will debit. Okay, your cost of sales will debit, and your sales will credit. And also your uh, trade receivable will debit, and your inventory will credit. And when if you are allocating any analysis code here, you can view that department wise profitability for this analysis code. And you can add additional lines from here. And if you want to add any notes for these lines, now if you have more than one line, you want to add lines for these items, you can add from here by clicking this file mark. Okay, you can add any additional notes, or if you want to add any serial numbers, you can add. And after you enter any notes for this item, this color will change. Okay, and when you are printing this invoice, you can view those additional notes. Right, these invoices also you can email or print or save. And now when you are selecting these items, you may seen that you will select this item. This item has three quantities on hand. Now if we enter 4, you can see uh, system will pop up a message. I think you can remember when you are doing that company settings, general settings, item settings, warn when item quantities fall below 0. Now this is only a warning message. If you select or if you tick second option, do not allow item quantities fall below 0, system will not allow to process this transaction. Right. And also this is credit limit is 150,000. If you save this, now you can see that credit limit is 150,000. That customer balance is 489,000. And when you are saving this invoice, system will pop up message that credit limit will be exceeded. Would you like to continue? If you want to continue, you can click yes and you can continue. Next options from here you can view invoice GP, and you can view invoice history. You can view show user defined fields, and you can enter details for here. Document attachments, you can attach documents, and document notes. Anticipated payment dates. If your customer agrees to pay particular day, you can enter that uh, anticipated payment date. And you can create recurring invoice, or if you want, if your customer returns these goods, you can create credit note, and you can pre-invoice. And if you want to create a receipt for this invoice, you can create a receipt, and you can copy this invoice. And these additional notes you can enter for all quotation, sales orders, invoices. And from message also, you can type any notes to this invoice. After you create invoice, you can view the invoice list grid. From here, you can view a customer name, document number, customer reference, date, due date, tax, those details, and you can customize by clicking this customize grid. You can tick required columns and untick if you want to remove any column. And if you want to print more than one invoice, you can select these invoices and you can print or email those invoices. And from actions, you can preview, print, email, or edit this invoice, and you can create receipt, credit note, copy invoice, print delivery note, and view history. Now you can create invoices by add a tax invoice, and you can enter that item details, or after you select the customer, system will pop up a message, there are outstanding sales orders for this customer, do you want to invoice them now? If you click yes, you can select the sales order quotation. You can check from here, QO is quotations and SO is sales orders. You can convert quotation or sales order to an invoice. Then you don't want to enter that item details again, system will pop up that item details. And also from here also you can go to quotations or sales order list and click actions, and you can convert that by clicking this create invoice. You can convert that quotation to customer invoice, right? Like that there are three steps. First one, you can go to customer transactions and tax invoice and click add tax invoice, then and enter item details, or you can convert pending quotations or sales orders, or you can go to quotations or sales order list and click actions and create invoice, right? Like that you can enter customer invoices. And also there are another option. Now you can see this type. There are item, account, time, and bundle. If you select time, you can select if you select items under type, you can select your items. Okay, your service item or physical items you can select from here. And if you select account, you can select your GL accounts. Now for an example, you are not maintaining your stock items or inventory. You are assume you are a service company, so either you can create a sales item, service item, or you can directly select that service income account. Okay, now for an example, if you are apartment, you can select electricity income account or water income account. Those income accounts you can select by selecting account under time. Next, time, if you select time, you can invoice time, your time sheet to your clients. And if you select bundle, you can select the bundle item from here. Now if you select bundle item, other components will pop up to that invoice. You can create bundle items from items, list of items, list of item bundles. From here you can create bundle items, and after you create bundle items, you can select that bundle items from here. And if you change the quantities, that bundle item will also quantities will change. Like that, you can create customer invoices. Right now you can practice this customer invoice. Okay, we will wind up for today. Next session, we will start from customer recurring invoices. Okay, thank you very much. Stay safe.